Andy Beats here from Pop Turnus, speaking to Chandler Riggs about the short horror film The Spider, which is based on Spider-Man, of course, which is available now on YouTube. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here. I love it.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's exciting because, people see this thing on YouTube that's just kind of taking the world by storm, but the whole, kind of how you got involved always interests people. So I spoke to Andy, the director and writer, about it. But, from your angle, this was a really just cool opportunity to do something really cool in this kind of world of, comic book stuff as well as horror for you, right?
Yeah, no, it totally was. Honestly, when I got the email, it was a really cool. I mean, I'm an indie filmmaker myself. I love making short films and everything with my friends and everything. So just seeing this and seeing Andy's Fiona short, it just made me instantly gave me just a bunch of friends making movies together, and to do that, to be part of that group and to play Peter Parker at the same time, what a cool opportunity. So I couldn't say no.
Absolutely. It's really cool because it's literally this tag team of two genres that have just been kind of taking over the world in terms of popularity with horror movies and, this geek comic book culture and everything. What's that like working on a project that is literally down the middle, a combination of both of those things? I'm curious about that.
Oh man, it is really so cool. We got to do some really, really fun stuff that I love. I mean, growing up on Walking Dead, that's all we did every day. It was a mix between fun, crazy action and horror stuff at the same time. So it was really, really fun to kind of almost get back to my roots in a way. And it was really such a blast.
It's interesting because you were a producer on The Spider as well. So you were on set kind of working and kind of helping out as much as you can all the time. Was it a quick process filming it? Because there's obviously conversations beforehand, but what was the pace filming The Spider at Cinepax?
Yeah, it was only 2 days of shooting, so it was really, really quick. And there was one day that we had, I think, 6 different locations, which, if you're not shooting on an LED wall, that would be impossible to do 6 location changes in a I think it was 13-hour day or something. So we just flew through it, and Andy, with Cinepax and their Unreal tech and everything. It was really, really amazing to work in an environment like that where it's always changing and it's so fast. And all the production designer did such a good job, just ready to go, and they had all the stuff there and ready, and repurposing things, and it was so cool. They'd have the next location up within minutes. It was amazing.
The rollout of the film on YouTube was really interesting because there was a lot of kind of BTS, and there was the announcement that you were going to be in the film. Then the trailer comes out and everything, and people know what to expect. But then the full thing drops, and people are whoa, freaking out about certain things. Maybe the ending, we're not going to talk about it. But, were you ever conscious of the audience member watching The Spider while you were filming it, or does that happen a little afterwards? Because there are those moments where the audience member is oh my goodness, this is a really dark take on this. You know what I mean? Do you think about that when you're filming? Does that happen a bit afterwards?
Yeah, you mentioning that brought me back to the scene where he's laying on the desk and he comes up and he's got the shit stuck to the desk, and that was such I remember doing that scene, and it was surrounded by the people in the. They're supposed to be in the classroom, right? So we had, a few of them were crew members, some of them were extras that they had brought in, and I remember they hadn't really been on set to see much of the other stuff that we were doing, and so I get up, I sit back, and I go and I start screaming and convulsing, and everyone was like, "Whoa, dude, you all right?" I forgot that it was I'd gotten just used to being in that environment of it just being crazy and huge and big. And that moment kind of brought me back and was wow, yeah, this is kind of insane what we're doing. This is, a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot for viewers, for sure.
Oh, 100%. And it's interesting because the life of an actor is really on to the next, especially when you're on The Walking Dead, season after season, right? a show like that, I feel like it's a little bit difficult not to look back because so much happens like in a finale of a season of The Walking Dead. So you're thinking about it. But like how like do you ever bring things from past projects to new projects? Like does stuff from Walking Dead preparation mindset wise come to you for the spider or are they really separate?
I would say they're pretty separate. My process in preparation for a character has changed a lot since I was on Walking Dead.
Okay.
I honestly I didn't do there was some stuff that I did, you know, to like really get myself just in the moment when I was on Walking Dead. But
Mhm.
you know, nowadays like it's been about almost 7 years since I've been off the show, so it's changed and evolved, and
Oh man, are we getting old, Chandler?
it's so crazy, right? Yeah. Um, yeah, I know, man. But yeah, but I've been at this acting studio for a long time that
Yeah.
I'm now working at, and it's yeah. So my process has changed a lot, and
Yeah.
it allows me to really like dive deep into the characters. And with Peter, you know, I found something interesting with Peter. It's really kind of especially this story is really sad because it's he never quite fits in, never quite
Mhm.
finds like his group, is, you know, everything. And then he's like has a moment of like, you know, of like, you know, really coming in and being like the person that he always wanted to be, like this just
Mhm.
like awesome, cool, you know, person that has like a lot going on, and it's just
Yeah.
exciting. It's just, you know, he's not a nerd or an outcast anymore. And then just for that to be overtaken by this grotesque transformation and like have it just take such a left turn was really fun to dive into
And
and
we're walking
explore.
on eggshells. We don't really want to go into it much, but there, like, again, there are some things in this short that are just unbelievable and just take like the turns that I didn't think they were going to take. And you were on a TV show that did that to viewers every season. So I feel like to you, like it's kind of pretty natural, right? When you're reading scripts like this.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, yeah, just having to keep pretty tight lip for about, you know, 6 months. Yeah.
um there's so much kind of happens, right? Like shout out to like the crew for the spider and everything and the hair and makeup and like the sound and everything. Like could we just give a shout out to everyone like at Cinepass and
Oh,
everyone that worked on this movie specifically?
oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, like the camera department, they did such a great job, like moving so fast. And again, you know, the set design, they killed it. Hair and makeup, the crazy suit that they had me in, like
Mhm.
there's oh man, it's just so crazy the amount of time and effort that just went into that alone.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Unreal Engine tech for the LED wall did such an amazing job. Yeah, sound, they did so great in post production, the music and the editing, like it really just came together in such an awesome way that
A hundred.
I love it.
And last question before we wrap up, shifting gears a little bit. The Walking Dead universe is arguably one of the biggest universes in TV and film. It just continues to get bigger and more popular, even when, you know, The Walking Dead, like, you know, that happened, like you said, you've been off the show for 7 years. So it's like even before that's been on, but like people are like discovering it for the first time, like now, like it's never gonna get bigger. When did you start noticing that this was like a really big deal? Like I'm just curious about that because different kind of times, right? And streaming didn't pick up as much when you were on the show originally. So I'm just wondering when you really started. Was it like season 3, season 4? Was it like when was that for you, Chandler, specifically? Where you're like, whoa, this is massive.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, it was probably in season 3. At the end
Yeah.
of the season, we wrapped, we got together in like this big huddle, like the cast and crew, and we were just going through and talking about our experience for that season. It was our longest season to date, and and uh, and one of us, I can't remember who it was. They mentioned that we had like 12 million or something. Like it was some crazy number of people watching the premiere for the season premiere, that season, like globally.
Mhm.
And I remember just being there like, wow, that's a lot of people. Like this is getting kind of big.
Mhm.
And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's crazy.
It's so mass. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And like all the Carl theories also never stopped. And I don't know if you were one to read into a lot of those theories and check them out. But like, were you surprised how many theories there were about your character, like season after season, or were you like a little kind of like, yeah, like I get it? Like, what was that like? Just the theories in The Walking Dead from Carl specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, there's a little bit of both of like some of them were from the comics, we're
Yeah.
thinking of, theorizing what was going to happen based off the comics. And others were, based, just on these crazy, like, oh, he's immune, like, oh, he's, it's a whisper, all this stuff. So it was really fun to just kind of read in and see like what people thought about, not even just his death, but just, all the other stuff, with the character in the show. So it was always a blast seeing how the fans would just make it their own. It was really fun.
It's crazy because I don't know if this is like, and super quick before we wrap up, getting back to the Spider. I don't know if because I'm just a huge horror movie fan, I'm a filmmaker in the genre as well. I just love horror movies, but obviously it has the Spider-Man component of it and everything. But like, I really see the Spider as a horror movie first. Like, that's how I look at it. Do you know what I mean by that a little bit specifically? Because the genre is so big right now.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like you can make an argument that it's like a horror movie first, then like a comic book Spider-Man movie. I'm just saying. What do you think about that?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's. I think that I think it does dance that fine line, but I think if there's an opportunity for us to see any more of this universe that my version of Peter Parker has found himself in, then I think we'll have a more definitive answer on that.
Yeah, absolutely. They can check it out on YouTube right now on Andy's YouTube channel, Locust Garden, The Spider, the whole film. Chandler, so great chatting with you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Likewise. Yeah, thanks so much.
Instagram is the best place for people to keep up to date with everything, right? It's just your name.
Yep, Instagram, Twitter. Yep, that's the best way.
There's a lot of BTS of The Spider, which is awesome. That's rolling out, which is so cool. I'm like loving everything that you and Andy and everyone else is posting. It's pretty awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Well, this has been Pop Turn, youtube.com/Pop Turn. Previous episodes, you can catch Chandler as Peter in The Spider, available now on YouTube. Until next time, this is Chandler and Peter Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.